Who would be at fault if the car had have collided with the dog in this situation? Well, it would be the person that's in charge of the dog, usually the owner. Before we get into it, if you enjoy my liability reviews, make sure to hit the follow button. The dog in this video was not harmed thanks to the quick thinking actions of the camera car driver. This footage was sent to me by a retired traffic police advanced driver. He managed to spot what was happening very quickly and got on the brake sharply while swerving. Thankfully, this meant impact with the dog was avoided completely. The dog naturally was in shock. Its lead did get stuck under the camera car wheels, but thankfully no injuries were sustained at all. But what happens if the car does collide with the dog and injuries are sustained to the dog and the car is damaged enough to warrant a claim for damage being made? I should stress that this is an exceptionally rare event. In my 8 years as a claim handler, handling about 500 to 800 claims at a time, I think I probably saw about 3 in that entire time. And in the 5 or 6 years that I worked overseeing claims handlers in the claims department, I don't think I've seen more than a dozen at all. I do think it probably does happen on a higher frequency scale, but usually this is probably settled privately between the driver and the dog owner. But in the event that a claim does get made, the person that is looking after the dog should have it under control. So if it's loose in an urban area and it runs into the road, the negligence is placed on the person who is supposed to have control of the dog. In terms of the injuries to the dog, well, that's for the owner to sort out themselves, whether that be through their own pet insurance or paying privately to the vet if the dog is not insured. In terms of damage to the car, well, the car owner is entitled to make a claim for that damage. The dog owner might have pet insurance that will cover third parties for damage that's caused by the dog. If they don't have pet insurance, there is the potential for there to be some cover under home insurance policies, depending on the level of public liability that is provided with that home insurance policy. And if there is no insurance in place, then it's going to be purely about approaching the owner of the dog directly to see if they are in a position to be able to pay for the damage privately without it having to go through small claims court. And if that's not possible, then it's about taking the claim to the small claims court, obtaining a county court judgment, otherwise known as a CCJ, and if required, choosing to enforce that judgment. Lovely jubbly, sound as a pound.